the other thing about finger patterns is that we can use the finger patterns to play in particular keys, right? So what, for instance, is the finger pattern? If we were to, let's use Peter's, what we just did when we're describing them right now. Okay, so in sequence from 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, and then you know, it's debatable what 5 is. 5 could be this, live long and prosper, or right, isn't it? Yeah. And then the crunched one, right? So diminished one. So I think of it kind of as 6 patterns myself, but we'll just deal with the first 4 maybe now. Okay, so for major, if we start on the first finger for a 2-octave major scale, then the first, what would be the pattern we have in the lower 2 strings? 3, right, and then the upper 2, 2, exactly. Okay, so what about natural minor? Lowest string, 2, next string, 1, next string, 1, and next string, 4, right, low, 4, the 4th pattern half stepped up, yeah, the first finger half stepped up, right, yeah, okay. And then how about melodic minor on the way up?
2, 3,
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.
I
Okay.
can look it to my ear, I can't.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then because we're going to need it, let's call the live long and prosper. Let's call that 6. Okay. So diminished is 5, and we'll call this 6. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. So
trying to
for
block that one, Clay.
so in harmonic minor then,
Wait, which one is 5?
5 is going to be a diminished, crunched one, right? 4 is augmented, 5 is diminished, 6 is that, right? Okay. All right. Getting a lot of exercise here. So harmonic minor. So on the lowest string would be what pattern? 2. Then 6. Yeah. And then
2,
1.
11.
Right. And then
Oh, we don't have this
Oh.
one.
We don't have it, do you?
You have this,
One,
the
2 are
augmented
augmented.
between the first and the second.
Well,
that's right. We don't have that one. Oh, that. Well, I guess we better get out the Robin Girl one. We're running out of patterns. You call that 7 now. So you see, he knew all this. That's why he ended up with 23. Yeah. Okay. So that's a good point. Okay.
You know something brilliant about Gerlach's pattern? He started off with the high 3rd finger.
Uh-huh.
So that immediately puts your brain into playing a major scale in every octave.
Mhm.
As opposed to the Suzuki thing, which always starts on the open string and you kind of get stuck with that.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just an observation pedagogically. If you started off with that,
Right.
baby.
And maybe that's what he was thinking.
No, I used to know him. So
Oh, you did?
That's
Okay.
kind of like the kind of thing he would have done.
Right. And you pronounce it Gerlach.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. That's good to know. Yeah. That's a wonderful book. You know, it's a good book to go back and read as a professional too, and just to really remind yourself of some good things, like make sure you practice things correctly more than you practice them incorrectly. Those basic, 10 tenets he has in there, which are always good.
Practice the easy things.
Right, practice the easy things, right. So, yeah, he should know we appreciate the book. Okay, so then, if we were to take and this is your area of expertise, if we were to take a key, and I'm going to defer to violin, I'm sorry,
That's
so
all right.
you always
We can handle.
tag along, and we take A major and we just make up a song in A major, then we can use pattern 3 and pattern 2, right, in the first position, right? So we could have them play the scale. of an improv thing, you know. So, who's next? Jody, you want to do a tune for us in some key?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me. No, that was a dumb thing. No, seriously, tell me the key.
Yeah, well, how about,
Well,
How about-
give her the patterns. She won't
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, I don't,
See, she won't do that.
yeah, I'm too right-brained to do that. All right, go
well, you
on.
don't have to do it. I mean,
No, but tell me what key.
Well, why don't you do the same, why don't you do B flat, but I would suggest you do it in low second position.
Right.
And then you can use pattern 3 and pattern 2, just like I did, but it'll be a half step up.
Okay, second position, B flat.
First
All right.
thing.
Yeah, 4 bars, 8 bars, whatever. Right,
And so-
that's right, yeah, exactly. So you just take those 2 patterns and you use them,
Yeah.
okay? Yeah. And you could call out a pattern and even stay on one string. And just say, okay, let's all, please play an improv with pattern 3 on D string. And just stay those 4 notes, right? Just get used to that.
You know, to take this a step further,
Sure, yeah.
doing this with kids, if you take Diane Allen's blank charts
Mm-hmm.
and you tell the kids that they're going to make up a tune, start on note number 1, 3, or 5, of the scale. So you arbitrarily tell them, you point to one of the dots and have them sing and do it visually. So they're mapping it out and using their ear by singing and then trying on the fiddle.
Right, right. Well, I'm all for singing. The more singing, the better as far as I'm concerned. I'm a big advocate of singing. So that's great. Good. Thanks for the idea. So if you look at Barbara Barber's thing here now, it says 4 basic patterns. She does previews, suggests previews of the red pattern when you're getting ready to go to May song. Okay? So she has a whole chart, if I understand this correctly. Did anybody use this book yet? No?
Jason, yes.
And she has a whole chart here. While you're learning this song, you should practice this item. Okay? So while you're doing, practice the next thing. So that's kind of a handy guide. And I put May song in there for you to notice it. Speaking of scales, we have this next thing, a kind of schematic diagram that I made for teaching scales. And in this case, thinking of patterns, you can see the patterns now quite clearly when they're written down on the page here. Maybe I'll hold that up. So, this, and you simply go up the scale and then back down the scale, this way, and then this way. And then music theory for the scales is on the left. It works pretty well. It works pretty well. I've tried a lot of things over the years, and I've stuck with this the longest. I don't usually talk about finger patterns when I do it, but now that I've done all this preparation for the topic, I'm kind of inclined to use that a little more. But the reason I put this in here is because the next page has the harmonic minor scale and then has arpeggios. And the arpeggios, when we're starting to talk about fingerboard geography in terms of excellent intonation and things like that, when we're putting our fingers down for the arpeggios, when we first teach them, it can be quite handy in addition to singing them, when we go to play them, to put all of the fingers of the scale, but only play the ones that are the arpeggios. So we're learning pretty efficiently how to do the arpeggio, and at the same time practicing blocking fingers. So, what do people call those fingers that aren't being used?
Goes to sleep.
Yeah, you call them ghost fingers? Uh-huh. What else do we call them? Ghost fingers, Jones?
Or silent.
Silent fingers.
I'm just thinking.
Spacer fingers,
As soon as we say, I
often
say skip, we skip, play, skip, play, skip.
Uh-huh.
Goes to-
And filler fingers, because they fill the space. So whatever term you want to use. But those are very important, and the more you say the note names out loud when you're putting them down, if you're in whatever key you're in, whatever position you're in, the more the fingerboard geography will become a reality.